Hello, hello, welcome to Leap Taken. Here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. Ignore the nails. Okay, so let's get into what this video is about. So, over the weekend for my Saturday Witchy Live in chat, I talked about having magical notebooks and journals and guided journals and such that I've purchased, and I admit I didn't write in them. So I thought I could make a video like this, so all of us who maybe purchase things like this, or things like this, or things like this, or this, or this. And we never really wrote. I'm trying to think, did I ever write in this book? I don't think I ever did. So, guys, use these videos. This is going to be a series where we're just going to call these, I don't know, the Magical Notebook series. We'll call it, or the Guided Journal series. I'm not sure yet. But we're going to take some time and write in our magical guided journals and notebooks. Okay, so this is the one I'm starting with, and pause the video, go grab yours. I'm gonna chat, and we're gonna fill them in. We're gonna start filling them in. So this is something where you're doing, and you don't have to have the exact same one as I do, but if you do, that'd be awesome, right? But yeah, we're gonna get to filling in our notebooks, and this is an opportunity. Use it if you will to grab yours, and let's do it together. So let's jump into it. So this one is talking about the witch's code. So this is the first section, by the way, of the book. Yeah, it talks about your road to discovery. This one, what is witchcraft? A conversation with the universe. Where do I start? I feel safe in skimming those sections. But if you want to read, please do. All right, so every lifestyle system has its own set of rules, a driver's manual, if you like, to guide you on your path. The witch's code is known as the Wiccan Reed. Now, I'm not Wiccan. And its function is to ensure that everyone maintains respect for themselves and each other. The reed contains much good advice and is usually written in verse. There are three essential points. Treat others as you expect to be treated. Do what makes you happy as long as it doesn't harm anyone else. And the energies you give out will come back threefold. Now, let's talk about it. Have you obeyed the code? Think about the last month. Write down some examples of how you fulfilled the three main rules. I have not fulfilled the three main rules. The energies you give out will come back threefold. That's the one I got a problem with. This is the energy I put out come back. Yeah, but I see that as a positive. Comes back to me threefold, meaning good. Look, I'm not gonna. I have my thoughts on parts of the Wiccan Read and those who tend to follow it. The type of people who would have even brought this up. I think there's certain groups of us humans. Who they need to really worry about that. But for some of us other marginalized groups of humans, that's very problematic for us because there's so much is done to us, and we want to, really defend ourselves, and that could be breaking this energies you give out will come back threefold. Also, if you practice certain indigenous spiritual paths, that doesn't make sense. So it doesn't make sense to me. So what we're going to do, is we're going to cross that out because that's not my sitch. This is not how I work or operate. Okay, so we're really think about the last month. Write down some examples of how you fulfill the three main rules. So it's going to be two. That's step one. Because I agree with treat others as you expect to be treated. Do what makes you happy as long as it doesn't harm anyone else. So, in the last month, have I? Yes, I did. uh, yes, I helped further. Oh, it's loud. Witchcraft via YouTube in a positive light. Because that's what I'm doing, guys, if you haven't figured it out. Am I trying to indoctrinate you? No. Am I trying to push pagan dogma on you? As if, no. What I am doing is showing you someone that looks like me, someone at my big age, and someone who has, an interesting history. We'll just say that practices magic the way she does. She calls herself a cottage witch. How am I talking about myself in this tense? But anyway, I call myself a cottage witch. It is what it is, we're not all the same. And because we're not all the same, we have different backgrounds, not alone. There's so much different. I mean, there's a lot different about us. And obviously, the unifying is the witchcraft, which I think is awesome. But witchcraft has been great in my life. It's helped me overcome, I've talked about this before, huge fears. It's drawn me to people I probably would have never talked to before. And I am so grateful for that. So I'm happy to share and put witchcraft in a positive light. What improvements would you like to make to your life? Continue to not let, excuse me, allergies, fear get in the way. Because that's a problem. It's an ongoing thing, but I'm on it. That's the basis for a lot. How will you begin to make changes as they'll follow the code? Practice, ritual, consistently, because that helps. And simply believe. Oh, by the way, when we're writing, it doesn't have to be long drawn out. Finish each meditation or spell with the words, and it harm none, do as you will. Or use your own wording to that effect. And I do. So we got one thing down, and what makes you a witch? It goes into that section. A witch is not greedy, proud. I'm a proud person. Hypocritical, bigoted, selfish, thoughtless, unkind. We got to come back on this proud thing. But this is relax and meditate. They tell you like you're writing certain things in the book. So what I'm going to do is switch books. We're trying to figure out how we're going to get started and how we're ever going to get through all these books at this pace. This is how we're going to switch them around. That's how. All right, let me grab the other one. Boom, the Grimoire Journal. So let's open this one. See what we get. Because each of these are probably going to start very similar, right? Summon your spells. Welcome to witchery. Think mindfully about what brought you to witchcraft and what you hope to gain, and incorporating writing into your spiritual practice. Perhaps you're seeking fame and fortune or true love, or exploring new ways to engage with your religion or spiritual path. Are you looking to build up a stockpile of amazing spells made just for you? Do you want to be able to reach and inspire others? Whatever it is, write it in this space. As you work through this grimoire, revisit this intention to remind yourself of what kicked off this journey and how far you've come. So I'm supposed to think mindfully about what brought me to witchcraft. And I want to say, in hindsight, I want my higher self, now that I know my higher self, and definitely my ancestors. So listening.
Place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely. It's how I understand what I want in this place, see. Cause everybody wanna tell you bad things, what could go wrong, what fame brings. But success is a finicky thing, and if you ain't sure, no, it'll never be. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. late, you won't understand it. All alone, that's okay. People I can't stand them, they don't want me to change. Keep me where I'm standing, and I don't wanna be where I am. And I want something more, take a chance. It could be possibly my last dance, my last dance. And I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down.
Okay, so I filled this in, and this was very easy for me to fill in. Um, and I just wrote, listening to the little hush voices eventually led me to witchcraft. I truly believe my ancestors had everything to do with my spiritual path. I've been told that I'm a hereditary witch, and I have by a medium and psychic. I also truly believe that I am. I learned to listen to the voice that sounded like my mom most times and sometimes indistinguishable. And I'm grateful I did listen. I'm very grateful. So this moves on into a section about casting a circle. So this is when you would actually cast a circle. So I'm going to hold off. By the way, we don't have to go in order. We can skip around if we want. Um, a blessing to the home. So this is more of an active book now that I'm looking at it. That's how much far removed I was from the dang on book. But I'm glad I had got the first thing in here. Uh, this is for writing a petition. So these are great for activities, which we will do. We will do. But for now, we just got these two done. So look, we're getting words in these pages finally, right? That's what matters. Finally. All right, so let's take a look at the shadow work journal and see if we can get into this without it becoming, too heavy for me. There is no light without shadow and no psychic wholeness without imperfection, Carl Jung. Okay, so here you read the first section, which I have. All right. This gives you prompts. Okay, so this one's a little bit more interesting. Okay, so how to find your shadow and what to do about it. So I got this from Amazon, by the way. This is actually interesting to you and you want to kind of go along and work on this together, go ahead and order it. If at some point I'm going to catch up, this is going to be a series, so we're going to kind of go through all of our notebooks. And for some of us who struggle with focusing on one thing for too long, this is going to be great. Or by the way, if you want to keep working on your book and I'm switching in between the others, that's okay. Go ahead. We'll just, we're hanging out together. So anyway, this exercise is perfect for beginners because it can help identify your shadow without going too deep into your past. That's helpful. You can do the exercise at one session. It would take 30 to 45 minutes, or concentrate on one prompt at a time, diving deeper into yourself. But even if you're experienced in shadow work, these prompts will be good for you because you should never get over the basics of shadow work. So the exercise will challenge you to follow the 5-step process. Identify the shadow, find the underlying issue, find out how wide it's spread, find ways to integrate the shadow and see yourself whole. If you need more space to write, you can use note pages. I know that. Okay, So here's the prompt. What area of your life needs shadow work right now? Think of a situation that annoyed you, made you feel ashamed or undervalued, angry, scared, disappointed, overprotected, or sad. All these emotions can be a starting point for shadow work. Try to relate the situation to a broader area of your life. And I have something. I recently, okay, two things pop in my head. I went to here in the state of Arizona where I live. We have dispensaries, cannabis. It's recreational here. So I was with some folk and we were in a dispensary over the weekend. It's a newer concept. This all just started this year here in Arizona. So these dispensaries are new. It's very interesting. You should, I mean, if you live in a state like that and you never went in before, you should go in. It's the way they run the stores is very interesting and it's fun because everybody's usually super friendly. Like, why would you be upset at a dispensary, for cannabis? Seriously. I don't actually smoke because I've never smoked. I got respiratory issues to be trying to smoke something, but the other treats that they have are interesting and I was checking them out. But anyway, moving on. So, my experience at the store was I knew of a product and I began to describe it. And I was very friendly because I've been there before. That's how I knew about this product. And I didn't know how to explain it. So, long story short, this person behind the counter, he was a younger kid, I want to say in his 20s. And I was with someone in their 20s. And they interrupted me and spoke to that other 20-year-old behind the counter and kind of came at them in a way that, was kind of stern. Like, hey, just, like, you know what she's talking about, stop. And they went and they got what I was asking about. But they knew the whole time. It's like he just, I don't know, he was getting a kick out of messing with me, but not in a fun way for me. And the way I felt in that moment, I felt this like it made me feel really bad. It made me feel how you would expect to be felt when someone is intentionally kind of being a little mean. I felt like he was being mean. Like he knew what I meant because, by the way, she didn't say anything more than I did. And he went and got exactly what I was talking about. And you can tell at some point he alluded in the conversation, he did know, but so why would you keep making me go through these theatrics? He had a smirk on his face, like it wasn't just me. His energy was really off, and it was starting to piss me off. Now I was holding myself in check, but the person with me did not because they were like, "No, f this, like that's not cool." And yeah, so how I felt when it was over, I felt like dismissed. I felt not really seen and it made me feel really sad. And I did question why did I feel those deep feelings over that, exchange. It wasn't that deep, but I walked away feeling much deeper. Then I had a business meeting and it was a virtual meeting and I knew everyone would be on camera and I was the only one on and I was asked to be on by the person who organized it, but no one else was on. And I was getting sort of grilled in this meeting and they never was on camera and it felt humiliating and it felt like by the way, if you like interview or you're working with somebody, you're interviewing them for something, whether it's a project, a business, or whatever the situation is, to ask someone, we'll say a candidate for an interview because that makes more sense when I'm talking to everybody. But to have them, or if they're pitching something to you to sell you something, why would you have only them on camera and you're not? That brings anxiety to some of us. And I definitely felt filled with anxiety. I felt really put on and I basically had to really fake it so I make it and watch my face. It was hard because I felt dry. I couldn't get energy. And as someone who is very familiar and knows how to manipulate energy and work with energy, it's and with intentional, purposes, to not see a face and you just see a still photo just really creates tension. It's hard to gather what are you feeling about what I'm saying, Yeah. And it just left me feeling really not great. And all those feelings I talked about, again, those intense feelings. So I can relate this overall to the fact that for me, I am very loyal. I'm a loyal person. If you're my friend, you are my friend. If you're my whatever, like if you have a role in my life, I got you. I'm with you. We together. Like I will ride for you. We're together. Um, I'll fight for you. I've always been that type of person. However, my circle is small for that very reason because I can't go all out for everybody. Because if I sense there's disloyalness from you in any capacity, and these people didn't have a relationship with me or anything like that, but I'm giving a broader, like they said, try to relate this to a broader area of your life. There have been people in my life that were very much in the inner circle, and they've shown that they were really not who I thought they would be, even with flaws and all. And that's the type of person I am. I accept. I'll fight even for the friendship or the relationship or the whatever it is. I've always been that type of person to fight for it, even if you're not kind of into it. I still fight for it. But anyway, so I think that's what it has to do with that. The way I felt in those two interactions is how I felt. Those feelings are really tied to when people I care about and who are in my inner circle kind of let me down in a way where it's like I can't get past it. Like, you're intentionally mean, you're intentionally being dismissive, you're intentionally making me put myself out there, be vulnerable, right? And you don't have my back in a way that I have yours. That feeling, and I'm just talking like broader, like over the years, just being an adult, being a younger person, that's how I felt. Those feelings, that I could tie it to that. So wow, I'm just thinking about this. So this is a great prompt. So um, that's what I'll write. Okay, so I got this written out for this first prompt. All right, so I feel really good about that. Now, the paint pens, they never really made a visit, so I don't know. But I kind of like the idea of just doing a little something on here. So I believe I've done these things. I identify the shadow. Ooh, so it's still not, oh, come on. I thought I had it. Oh, so I see this is something I'm going to have to shake. They say for 1 minute. I mean, I guess I should have figured it out, right? Anyway, I identified the shadow, and I want to use a red pen for this. They didn't have black, but find the underlying issue, find out how wide it's spread, find ways to integrate the shadow. I haven't done that yet. See yourself whole. So I feel like in this exercise, I walked away with 3 out of 5 lessons from what I wrote. And just exploring that. So that was actually really helpful. So yeah, so the next one, oh, there was more for me to write, but the next one goes into what was the underlying issue of the situation. But I felt like, I don't know, I felt like I know that. I guess I'll explore more about that in this section, but I feel like I've introduced it all here. But the good news is we managed to get 3 books, some words down, and actually start using these. So stick with me. And sometimes maybe we'll focus on one a little bit more, depending. But this one will be fun because we can act out some of the things that are in here, like when we get to that circle casting exercise. That'll be really interesting because, we can go ahead and just do some of these activities. If you have this book, this will be really fun. By the way, if you don't have it, again, I purchased this from Amazon, the Grimoire Journal, a place to record spells, rituals, recipes, and more by Paige Vanderbeck. So, if this is just a fun activity that I plan on just doing. So yeah, we can do this the next time. But yeah, this is it. Thanks for watching. I'm Mika. This is Leap Taken. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Also, don't if you would like, please consider hitting the join button to join Leap Taken membership. If there are any services that you'd be interested that I offer various readings, a monthly subscription, a mentor program. Please go to leaptaken.com and check that out. More is to come. I'm actually working on something right now. It's taking some time, but it'll be worth it. So yeah, that's it. So as always, thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.